Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Girls Lounge with your hosts, Liz and KT. And sorry about the no upload last week. We ran into some technical difficulties, but before we started recording, I made sure that I was not on mute the whole time so we could actually have an episode because that was what happened last week was I just for some reason accidentally recorded and mute the whole entire episode and I was talking too fast to make subtitles or anything or even know what I was saying. So apologies for that. But this week we are going to be going over all of our toxic traits. It's going to be a really good episode. It was really funny the last time we recorded it, so hopefully we can bring the same energy, the same magic to you guys.
Yeah, we had to re-record because it was such a good episode to do. There were so many laughs, but unfortunately the sound wasn't there. So we're just gonna take two. Hopefully we get it down this time. And like Kennedy said, it's gonna be better than the first time.
Exactly. I mean, come on. My camera actually looks better today. And we'll get into that why it does because we're just going to go into our life updates as we always do. But since the last time you guys talked to me, it actually has been a while. So about 2 weekends ago, I had a little day in Lexington. My mom, my dad, and we went to Lex and I tried the new banana pudding like bundt cake from Nothing Bundt Cakes. It was really good. I had a bunch trip. They were having the romance paperback sale at the time where it was buy one get one 50% off, and I took advantage. Literally one of the books I got rang up to $9, so I got two romances, one like thriller, and then one like just general like woman's fiction. So I'm really excited about all those reads. And then also took a little trip to Ulta to get some serum. And then last week, I believe, me and Liz had a little morning hangout. It was really fun. We went to this local coffee shop in our town that is downtown, and we just worked on the podcast stuff. So make sure you are subscribed, following all that stuff on our Instagram, this podcast, because we are like we have some plans and we're really excited for them. And then after that, something happened that we don't talk about. JK, I will talk about it. I got into my first car accident, you guys. I'm not gonna talk like that much about it, but let's just say I was down bad for like the past 2 days. But I feel like within like the past, like yesterday and today, I'm definitely feeling like a lot better about it. I'm able to move on, and a car accident is always a learning experience. And the most important thing is that nobody was hurt. And then I have also started the process of my room makeover. So I think the last time I talked to you guys, I was like, okay, like I've started decluttering, but now the actual like painting and all that stuff has started. So if you can't tell, my walls are painted. So my room is just a lot brighter, especially because I got my windows open. So my camera quality is actually so much better. I always was like, wow, Liz's camera quality is so good. And then here's just mine all the time. But now I feel like it finally is given some good energy. It looks a lot better. And so me and my dad painted it the other day. And then yesterday was the first night I was able to like sleep in my room, got some things together. I was actually building my desk before me and Liz recorded. And then, yeah, and so that's just what I'm basically going to be doing is building furniture and all that stuff. And I am vlogging it. So you might want to subscribe to my YouTube channel. But that's all I've been up to.
Yes, the room color looks so good. I know that shade is marshmallow because you're helping Kennedy choose that color, and it looks so good. Honestly, just like the brightness to the room, she's giving me some inspiration because I've also kind of been like redoing my room a little bit at a time. That's what I've been doing this past week. And then, like Kennedy said, we went to this coffee shop, and I got one of their like summer seasonal drinks, and it was a chai or chata latte, and it was fire, you guys. It was really, really good. I'm skeptical about like places like taking on like Hispanic drinks and kind of like switching them up a little bit because I know Starbucks is doing that, but I haven't tried Starbucks's. But our little local coffee shop, yeah, that was a hit. Definitely going to be seeing us. I feel like at least once a month these next couple of months, me and Kennedy. And then the week before that, which is not last week, the week before, I was in Cabo in Mexico with my family. My mom's family, they kind of had like a unofficial family reunion where it just happened that like the dates worked out and like the family that could go went. So I got to meet a lot of family that I hadn't met before and really enjoyed my time there. And the villa that we were staying at, because it was a like resort that had hotels, but then there was also villas. And our villa had its own like infinity pool and its own jacuzzi. So it was really, really nice. And the weather was amazing. So I had a great time in Cabo. Had a couple little like flight issues where our flight into Cabo was from North Carolina, from Charlotte, and it was supposed to be a direct flight to Cabo, but like not even, I feel like it was a third of the way through the flight, the pilot comes on and he's like, we're gonna have to make like a emergency, not emergency landing. There's some like technical issues, like mechanical issues, so you had to make a landing in Dallas, and it ended up being, I was like a little, I was like, dang, we're gonna be here all day now. There goes my first full day in Cabo. But no, it was actually really quick. We were there for like less than 30 minutes, and then we just got onto a different flight, which was really easy. And then our flight back was supposed to be Cabo to Dallas and then Dallas to Lexington. But our first flight had some delays. So that caused our second flight for us to miss it. And we had to spend the night in Dallas. Luckily, they gave us a hotel and like food vouchers and all that kind of stuff. So that was really nice. But yeah, other than that, I've just been home right now, slowly decluttering my room. I have this like cabinet in the corner of my room where it's just become my like junk cabinet. The amount of stuff in there is actually insane. Like it's kind of broken in the back and stuff kind of started falling out. So it's like, okay, it's time for me to get rid of this thing. It doesn't even really go with my room. And I just need to rid of everything. And the amount of junk that's in there, I found like homework and notes from like high school. Yeah. So I've like taken out like two trash bags of that cabinet. But slowly but surely we're starting to kind of declutter and get my room ready since I'm gonna be here for until further notice. So trying to make it more homey.
No, I feel that with finding stuff from work, my old or from school, my old desk that I had, it had like I found some like binders from like Spanish and like emergency procedures. I was like, oh yeah, this is going in the trash. Yeah, I think, oh, so the airplane story, one of my professors I had my last semester, she was American Airlines biggest hater, so she would have felt so validated hearing your travel struggles.
Yeah, and like I normally like never have any issues with them because I always fly with them normally. But for some reason the universe just wasn't in our favor that time.
Yeah, we can't be lucky all the time, you know. But now we're gonna get into our faves of the week. So mine are these like simple pair of like baggier denim jeans, or not jeans, jean shorts that I got from Old Navy a couple years ago. And they're kind of the style where it's a little bit high waisted. The ends aren't like cupped up, so they're like frayed a little bit, and there's like some loose strings, but it's a vibe. And I've been loving them recently just because I just don't like bottom that are like just so tight on me in the summer. Like we just need something to breathe, and like I don't want to be in like athletic shorts or sweat shorts all the time. Like sometimes I want to dress it up a little bit, and so I've just been loving them.
My favorite of the week has changed from the last time we recorded this because I had two, but one of them I didn't write down and I can't remember for the life of me what it was. But my first favorite of the week, my original favorite of the week, is body of water, especially in the summer. I absolutely, it's just like it's a necessity in the summer. I feel like for you to get into the water at some point, whether that be like the pool, the lake, the ocean, like whatever it is, you just have to get into that water. And when I was in Cabo, that was really nice. Like the pool, obviously, and like the ocean when we could get into it. But then I actually forgot. Yesterday, Sunday, my family, we went to the lake. One of my dad's friends has a lake house and like a boat and everything. And we went and it was a whole lot of fun. Like we were only there for like 5 hours, no, like not a full day, but it was a lot of fun. So that's one of my favorites of the week. And then my second favorite of the week is the book that I'm reading, which Kennedy, shout out to Kennedy. She was like, you have to get this book. And I didn't get it the first day we went to the bookstore, but then the second day I was working downtown and I was like, I didn't bring my Kindle. I didn't bring a book. So like, if it's slow, what am I going to do? So I went to the bookstore and I got this book, and it is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. And it is so good, you guys. Like, I'm literally obsessed with it. Like, if I'm not doing anything, I'm reading that book. I'm not on my phone. I am reading that book. And honestly, the chapters, they're not like super long or anything, because I'm like kind of a kind of person that either I will finish the chapter or I will end. I don't like to end on like the middle of a page. I like to like finish a complete page. So if it's a page that like the sentence runs on to the next page, I'll keep on reading until there's like a punctuation at the end of the page. And a lot of the pages actually have that, I found, because I have been like stopping like between chapters and everything. But it is so good. It's if you haven't heard of it, it's just a like historical fiction novel, and it's set in World War II, and it follows these two sisters. And it starts off with like the we actually don't know who it is because they don't give a name. I'm assuming it's one of the sisters, but I don't know which one, because I feel like it's fitting neither one of them right now. So it starts off like in the present time, and then it like goes back in time, and it's like telling the story of the two sisters, and it's in the third person POV. So you're not like in the mind of them. So I don't know whose sister, like who is the one that's like going back in time and like thinking of everything, but I feel like it's neither one of them. But it has to be one of them, I'm assuming. But we'll see, we'll see. It's just really, really good. It is thick, and I was like, oh no, that's kind of like scary. But honestly, I've been like zooming through it. So highly recommend if you're looking for a book to like switch it up a little bit.
And especially it is becoming a movie that's coming out in 2027, I believe, and the Fanning sisters are going to be the cast for it, and I think that is perfect.
It's literally like when I imagine them, exactly how I imagine, like little blonde French women, and like even like the age differences and everything. I think it's very accurate because they're not like close in age or anything. So I am super super excited for this movie, and I love those like historical movies and everything. Even if they're not accurate, like I'm still watching. I'm still sat down, like all those period pieces. I absolutely love them. So I think that it's gonna be really really good as a movie, especially with them too.
Exactly. And then our next little segment is our sports corner. So the Belgian Grand Prix just happened. It was a sprint weekend, which I did not realize till it was too late. Usually I love watching like sprint quali, sprint. I didn't watch sprint quali, but I did watch the sprint race quali and then the actual race. Honestly, I don't have anything notable to say other than what we put on our Instagram, which a little play. We're gonna start posting like little fantasy and race highlights on our Instagram. So that is always linked down below. So yeah, I honestly don't have anything to say. I enjoyed the McLaren battle. When Oscar overtook Lando, I was like, ugh. I was really hoping for Lando to win this race, though. Yeah, spoiler: Lando or Oscar won the race. But I still liked having a McLaren 1-2 finish. Ferrari finishing on podium. I was very happy with that. Lewis had an amazing drive going from 18th to 7th. Like, people doubt him just because the Ferrari cars aren't the best, but only a legend like Lewis could go from 18th to 7th. Like, that is almost last, and he scored in the points, which is amazing. And then there was a rain delay in the beginning for literally an hour. So if this was the race to watch, if you like overslept on accident, like you would have had plenty of time. But the cameraman, they understood the assignment, finding exactly what we wanted to see with the drivers. Charles was looking majestic as usual. I was just like, yeah, they know what we want to see.
Exactly what I was gonna say. I was gonna say my favorite part of the race, of course, was the rain delay because we got to see the cameraman. You know, they're already like on live TV. Man, gotta make he gotta show something, and there's literally nothing going on because they're all sitting in their little like garages, just waiting for them to like, okay, you guys can go race now. And I loved it because he was like going like showing like people pouring coffee and stuff. Like it was the most random stuff, but the drivers, yeah, they looked exquisite, amazing as always.
So yeah, like I said, I don't have it wasn't the most eventful race, so I honestly don't have anything else to say. So I'll just give a little point update, a little drivers recap, which again you can see on our Instagram. But I had Lewis and Yuki, and I scored 4 points for Lewis getting 4th through 10th place. I didn't gain any points from Yuki, but I do have to say Yuki looked very promising in the other session. So it's crazy how amazing both Red Bull teams do when Christian Horner's not there. And then Liz had Esteban Ocon and Fernando Alonso, and unfortunately, no points were gained. So we're going into the next weekend with me having 149 points and Liz 92 points.
And you know, we're only like halfway through the season. A lot can happen. Yeah, I'm still holding on hope. Very minimal hope, but hope is still there.
I'm still holding on hope for you two, Liz. I want us to be like Lando and Oscar, just battling every weekend with our points.
You might have to give me a head start there.
Now for our drivers, I'm gonna say who Elizabeth has. She has Nico Hulkenberg and Pierre Gasly.
And then Kennedy also has Nico Hulkenberg and Lando Norris. You know, at first I was like, when I drew hers and I was like, okay, I hope her people do terrible. I hope Nico, you know, he got that podium, but I hope he doesn't gain any points. You know, they don't have to like do not finish, but like just not gain points for us. And then I saw that I also have Nico, so now I'm like, dang, you know, I hope he pulls through.
Hopefully he has a good weekend. Sauber has been looking kind of promising. I think, the past couple of races, but I'm happy with both of our drivers.
And now we're gonna go ahead and get into our pop culture segment, which honestly is book world crossover right now because there's so many new things that are coming out. So first up is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. It is getting turned into a movie, and it's going to be starring Lily Reinhart and Tom Bateman. When we first saw this, me and Kennedy, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Everybody was like over the moon, and don't get me wrong, we love like Love Hypothesis. Like that was like the OG book to get us back into reading more. But we saw the casting, and then we were like, everybody in the comments was cheering it on, hyping it up, being like, "Yes, this is perfect. This is exactly what I envisioned." Me and Kennedy did not really. Lily, I was like, I just feel like Allie in not Allie, but the main girl in Love Hypothesis. She's a brunette. Lily is blonde. I just wasn't seeing it. I wasn't quite seeing it. But then I saw the clips where like she's like kind of styled like I keep forgetting the female main character's name, but she's kind of styled like her. And I was like, okay, I'm starting to kind of see it a little bit, the like quirkiness I can see, the hair, okay. And then I saw Tom Bateman, and I was like, this is not what I imagined the male main character looking like. And then yeah, me and Kennedy, we are in agreement, but I feel like every time we look through the comments, we're in the minority in this agreement.
Yeah, people were like, "Oh, he is the perfect guy." I'm like, did we read the same book? Especially because the Love Hypothesis, it was like originally based off like Ali Hazelwood, like a fan fiction for Adam Driver's character in the Star Wars. I've never seen Star Wars, and I don't really think Adam Driver was cute, but I was like imagining him in my mind, Adam, like as Adam Driver, but like a cuter version. And so to see Tom Bateman, I was like, like no offense to him, but just he's not my Adam. And similar to Liz, I didn't really see Lily as Olive, but in one TikTok where they like revealed who was going to be Adam, I did see it a little bit with her brunette hair. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure Amazon is picking up this adaptation, so hopefully they don't bill us.
Yeah, and Amazon has been doing a lot of like book adaptations, and I mean they're not necessarily like the perfection, but people be watching it. Like those My Fault Culpa Mia ones, they have like 3 movies out, like there's hope.
And of course, the summer I turned pretty.
How could I forget about that? Literally, yeah.
And then our next bit of news is Every Summer After is being turned into a movie, which I did not know. And the casting for that has come out. And the main people that just stick out for me is Abby from the Wicks Club show from Netflix is going to be the main girl. And then Matt Cornett from High School. Oh Lord, y'all know the High School Musical show with the long title. Yep, he's gonna play the main boy, which I'm hype. I see those perfectly for those 2 roles, especially Matt Cornett. So I'm super excited for this movie.
I have not like read this book at all, but I'm so excited just for the casting because I feel like Abby and Matt are those like underrated like actors that like they're in that really good show that gets canceled and nobody sees it again, and then they're never casted or anything. At Winx, I'm still waiting for season whatever that was supposed to come out. But yeah, I'm very excited. I think that they both like complement each other, and yeah, that's all I have to say.
And then the last bit of book news is The Map That Leads to You with Madeline Klein and KJ Appa. I personally have never heard of the book is being turned into, but I did see her post the trailer to it. Oh, and Sophia Wiley is in it too. So I'm excited to see her and more stuff too. She's also from the High School Musical show, and she was in Andy Mac for all the Disney girlies. But the movie trailer looked really good, and I'm just sad to watch it. It comes out in August, I believe, so it's coming out very soon.
You just like unlocked a memory with saying Andy Mac. Completely forgot about that Disney show. But our next thing is kind of like a little outdated now, but I feel like we should still talk about it because it was kind of crazy. But the Coldplay concert, obviously everybody has seen the concert where like they're singing, then they start showing like the fans out in the crowd, and then they like zoom in on this couple that's like really like up in each other's business, like very like coupley, and then immediately when they realize that the cameras pan on them and everybody's seeing them, they like scramble. They like go to like different corners. The girl, she like ducks and everything. And then the Coldplay like singer, he's like joking like, oh, they're like either like really camera shy or they're like having an affair. Little did he know they were having an affair.
And it's crazy because it blew up from this TikTok, not even like from Coldplay or anything. It was a girl who was at the Coldplay concert. She just like posted it willy nilly and then just blew up, which is insane. And I find it even crazier, like just how open they were at a Coldplay concert. And like, I assume it was like close to them, like in the city they live in or something like that. Because if there's another girl you see in the video who was with them who works at the same company. So like the guy, he is the CEO, the woman is like the HR chief executive, I believe. And then the girl is like works in HR, but like she's under her. Like she recently got promoted within the past couple months. So people are like, oh, like she got promoted because like maybe she knew about the affair. But it's just crazy that it was just kind of like a open thing and then they got caught at a Coldplay concert and like apparently the wife of the man like took his last name out her like Facebook bio. So I'm sure divorce is it's happening and I'm not 100% sure if this is real or not because I think there's been some false images going around, but I think they both have like stepped down for their from their roles, which like low-key hot take. I feel like having to step down your role because you cheated is kind of crazy, but like I understand at the same time that like stock people who have interest in it financially, like they don't want anything ruining their reputation or anything like that.
No, yeah, because I also had that same like view kind of. I'm like, dang, that's. I feel like you weren't like causing any harm. Like you might have some favoritism towards her, but like, is it harming the company? And then I think like the crazy part is that they were like in a box like seat and everything, like where like everybody like in the box seats. I feel like it's not like you're hidden or anything. You know, it's just you in that little box. Like if you're actually someone like famous, you know, sometimes there's like I don't know celebrities. Like at this past concert that Coldplay had, I think like Messi and his wife were like in a box seat or something. I saw videos of that and I'm like, obviously people are gonna pay attention to you. So I feel like if they were trying to like be low key and everything, they would have, you know, maybe gotten some regular old seats, you know, maybe some not saying it had to be nosebleeds, but like just normal seats.
Yeah, and I feel like normal seats would have hidden them better. Like I feel like it's like just easier to see people in a box seat. But I feel like my favorite thing that's come out of this is all the memes and the jokes. Like I've seen people at other sporting events, like mascots and just people in the crowd, kind of like recreate it, and like everyone's in on the joke, and I love it.
That's always the best part that comes out of any social media scandal. And then with that, we're going to go ahead and move into our next segment, which is what we're watching. And for the next couple of weeks, we're going to be doing at the end of a what we're watching segment, we're going to be talking a deep dive into The Summer I Turned Pretty. Spoilers and everything. We'll give you guys a warning when we're about to like go into it, but just so you guys know, we just have to do this. It's only right that we really recap this season and the way it's going. But before we get into that, we'll talk about our regular what we've been watching stuff. And you know, I'll go first because I'm back to my regularly scheduled, barely watching anything. But I am currently watching. I need to get back onto it. But I was watching the zombies movies on Disney Channel. The first one, I like watched only the first one, but then recently I was getting a whole lot of TikToks about like the fourth one. I didn't even realize that there was four of them, but I was getting a whole lot of things about it, and I was texting Kennedy and Kelsey, and I was like, I need to watch these again because there's some banger songs from the first zombies movie. So I was very much on my flight back from Cabo. I had downloaded Zombies 1 and I was watching it. Was I watching it like with my phone up on this like little holder thing so everybody could see? No, I was a little nervous. Didn't want to get judged for watching this Zombies movie, but I was indeed watching it and the songs are just good. What can I say? And then the second thing that I've been watching is Scandal, and I'm committed, you guys. I will finish this show. I'm not gonna get like halfway through like other shows. So I'm committed to Scandal, and that's why I haven't been watching too many other things. And the whole like cheating thing, yeah, that's happening right now where I'm at. Well, I mean, you know, in Scandal, I feel like this isn't a spoiler. There's some cheating with the president and another his like I don't know, PR, not PR, his, I don't know, Olivia, whatever she is, Olivia Pope. I feel like everybody knows that, you know? And where I'm at in the show, it's been discovered that they're cheating. And I was like, I mean, I get the hate, but also like, is it really like that much of a big deal for him to go through like all this stuff? I guess, you know, like he is the president, but at the same time, like, Dang, that's kind of crazy y'all did all that. So I've been watching that, and then I'm finishing the Ryan Trahan 50 Days, 50 States series. They're currently on day 49, so tomorrow's day 50, and that's just really crazy that it's almost over. But that's the only things I've been watching.
Yeah, sometimes I see like the series posts because I follow Haley fam, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, they're almost done already. Crazy. But I'm gonna like try to go through mine as quick as possible. So I watched Megan 2.0 with my dad. Really like the first movie, honestly, so I was like a little hesitant. I was like, how are they gonna continue the story? But actually genuinely liked it, and I was sat the whole time. And then I watched The Mortician, which is a docu-series on HBO Max. And long story short, basically there was this family who ran like this funeral like service business, funeral home business in Pasadena in California, and it was like the place to be. And the son, he took over the crematoria services, so that is like two different businesses. And basically as he was running it, he wasn't being ethical at all, or he was doing things illegally. He was basically mass cremating bodies. Like between his time, they cremated over 24,000 bodies. But what was really messed up is they would just put random ashes in boxes and just send them out to families. And like on the families would say like, oh, we want the ashes spread out to like on the sea or whatever, and they wouldn't do it because again they're just mass cremating bodies. And why this got like found out is because other funeral businesses in the city were like they're kicking them out way faster than like is kind of normal, so that's kind of how they got attention on them. And then as they were like investigating, it was found out that they would like take tooth gems off the dead people's teeth and sell them for money, or like if they had like really nice jewelry on, they would like cut off a finger and like sell the jewelry even though the families might have like wanted the jewelry in the ashes boxes or something. So just really shady practices. And then you basically find out like the whole family was actually corrupt this whole time. And it was really interesting because they actually had the guy who went to jail in the docu series, which I always love when we get to hear from the person who was in the wrong. And it's kind of crazy because like he was kind of treating this funeral business like a mafia service anyway. Like he had like some helpers that he hired at the crematorium that he would have like go beat up people so they would like stop talking about him. And one of them even died, and people are kind of like speculating that he might have been like low-key a little bit of a serial killer, might have killed some other people. But yeah, it's a really fascinating documentary, so I would really suggest it.
No, that's like really crazy that people actually do that. I feel like, when people are dead, you should just let them rest in peace. But I guess there's some people out there that have very different views on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, that is definitely a case that definitely brings up a lot of moral questions for sure. And then next, I'm just in my limited series era. I watched The Perfect Couple on Netflix. Basically, it's like the same vibes as The White Lotus. You see a murder happen in the beginning, and then the rest of the episodes are leading up to the murder. It's only 6 episodes, but I finished them quick. I finished them in 2 days, but they weren't like too terribly long. And this series is based off the Perfect Couple book by Odin Hildebrand. She's a very popular author, especially for the summertime. And basically, this book starts with this like really rich family, and the guy of the family, like the son of the family, is getting married to like a more normal girl, and it's actually like her best friend who actually was in the White Lotus, is found murdered, and it's just a whole bunch of secrets get revealed. Nicole Kidman's in it as well, and also the youngest son from the newest season of The White Lotus. So it's a really good show, very quick, easy binge, perfect for the summertime. Yeah, so I really recommend it. And then I was following suit with Liz, rewatching the zombie movies because I want to catch up before I watch the fourth one. So I have watched the first one, need to watch 2 and 3 again. I have watched up to the third movie. I just forgot literally what happened. And so I was like, wait, I forgot how good like this movie low-key is. Like just like the humor of it and stuff, and like the cringiness, but good cringiness. So yeah, that's what I've been watching.
Also, I don't know if you noticed, the viewers might have watched when you were explaining the whole like I was gonna say ghost, the whole morgue thing. There's a fly that was like all over me, and then I kind of like I swear that thing like almost went up my nose, you guys. But anyways, I think it's gone. I haven't seen it since Kennedy was talking. So if you guys see me like swatting at something, the fly's back.
Yeah, I was like, Liz, she must be going through it over there. I kept seeing like this. I was like, I'm gonna just ignore it.
Yeah, I was definitely going through it. You know, if you saw me like coughing up or something, it went in me. It was over.
And now we are here for the best part of this episode, other than the toxic traits. Talking about the summer I turned pretty. We're going full spoilers for episodes 1 through 3. We are gonna timestamp it so like you can easily skip over. But if you don't want spoilers, or if you're the type of person that's like you haven't watched the show but like you don't mind people talking about it, because I'm the same way, feel free to stay. So here we are. I have notes on my phone. So just we're gonna just kind of go through them as quickly but in depth as possible.
And you guys, we're gonna just gonna go ahead and just go for it. Little quick to preface: I have not watched episode 3, but I'm well aware of everything that happens in episode 3. So yeah, but episodes 1 and 2, I feel like there's just I don't even know where to start, you guys. I feel like it's all over the place. I guess we can start, obviously with like Belly and Jeremiah. Yeah, Jeremiah. I was gonna say my man. No, not my man. Very much not my man. He is just like I feel like Belly is a mother to him, I feel like she's doing very much like every single scene that we've gotten of them two. She's the one that's like, oh, like it's gonna be okay, like don't worry about it. And then her like almost not going to Paris to like stay and like be with him because she doesn't want him to be alone and like she feels bad for him like having to stay an extra semester, which also I feel like is not the end of the world the way that they're making out to seem. I don't know, just that whole relationship. I'm like, he just like I can't stand him. Every single scene of them I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, my first two notes were Jeremiah face makes me mad and Jer sucks so bad. He is just literally the definition of man child. They need to play that in the show. Please, it's obviously too late, but that's in my mind when I see him. And back to the school thing, I just don't understand how like you just accidentally didn't see. I was like, does degree audit not exist? Like, sir, were you what? Like, no time when you're talking to your counselor? Like, I don't know.
Exactly. Like, how is he so caught off guard with him having to stay a semester extra? I feel like if you had to stay a semester extra, you wouldn't be that surprised. You would have been like, okay, like obviously this was coming. Would it have been like a shocker maybe like when it was solidified? Maybe a little bit, but not as much as he's making out to seem. And then honestly, I'm on his dad's side. His dad may be toxic at times, but I'm like, yeah, I would be mad. Why am I gonna pay 20K extra because you couldn't check your emails or like I don't know, listen to your advisor? I truly don't understand. Because I'm like, how? How did you not realize like did you not apply for graduation and like get denied? Did you even apply for graduation? I truly don't understand what was going through his head with that. But he can check that Cabo email.
Facts. He could plan a trip to Cabo, but he can't fix his grades, and that's why people. Okay, a little side tangent. People say that like, oh, like season 3 and like in book 3, Jenny Han like ruined his character. But I'm like, no. Even though there's a time jump, this is so on brand. Even from the other seasons, Jeremiah is not good at responsibility, and we're seeing that even more, but with more like adult responsibilities. He can't handle his stuff, and that's his issue, and it's so annoying. And then he makes it everybody else's problem, and he just mopes. But I'm like, be like Conrad. I'm gonna be toxic like the dad. Be like Conrad, because Conrad gets his stuff together without you having to say something. And just a like quick little segue to Conrad, my next note was every scene with Conrad makes my heart melt.
Specifically the scene where he's at the bar with his friend and people are like, oh, I really hope that they don't make them like a little like a thing, him and the friend. I really don't think that they are, just because the way that like that bar scene kind of started, she was like, oh, like I liked you but like you turned me down because you weren't ready for it or whatever, and then now they're like friends. I feel like they moved on past that, so I truly don't think that anything is going to happen between them. But honestly, I'm so glad Conrad has her, because she's that kind of person that's like gonna call him out and be like blunt, which is what he needs, I feel like. Just because like the whole way that the mom's like cancer was handled, it was like nobody was telling them. It was they were kind of like coddling them, I feel like. But with the friend, it's like point blank, like this is what's wrong with you. But I just love that conversation between them where she was like asking him questions and he was just like so honest. And when he was like basically saying like he's still in love with Belly and like he's like distanced himself because it hurts to like be around her when she's with Jeremiah and like he doesn't want to like bring it down and everything. And I'm just like, oh my god, where's my Conrad?
No, facts. I think in the book they might have had a little relationship, but I'm glad it's like strictly friends. And like Agnes, she's saying what we're all thinking, so we're glad that that's in the show. And what was the last thing you said? I feel like I was gonna say something.
Oh, how he's like still in love with Belly.
Oh yeah, okay. So the scene also where they kind of had like a little moment at Cousin's beach, and just seeing how Conrad was acting during that, like when she like fell down the stairs and Conrad was just there. And I was like, I need me a Conrad. Like that, like I need me a Conrad. That's all I get to say.
I one of my favorite scenes of them so far because like we've barely gotten any scenes of them, but one of my favorite scenes was when they're literally just sitting like it's the Christmas flashback. They're just sitting like she's on her like laptop, he's like over there doing I don't know his crossword or something, and they're just like in silence, but it's like that comfortable silence. Like they're not doing anything, they're just sitting there and they're not talking. Like stop, like I literally can't.
No, I was really like, that is a married couple right there. Like, you cannot tell me that they're in game. And speaking of in game or people thinking they're in game, or actually, no, the opposite of being in game, the cheating reveal, that made me sick. And then with the Taylor song, and then eventually the Lacey song, yeah, you're done. Whoever did the soundtrack, you're done.
Yeah, no, I think that was iconic, especially because the girl that Jeremiah cheated with, her name is Lacey. And then for them to play the Lacey song, like, oh my God, like they knew what they were doing with that. I don't know if in the book, if her name is Lacey or if like, oh, it is Lacey. Okay, I was gonna say if they like made the name to match the song, that's really really good. But yeah, that's all. That was just iconic right there.
Yeah, and Jeremiah is stupid. Like, why would you let Belly go into that situation? Or not even let her go into that situation, but it's like, we already saw a scene from the past where it was like, oh, like he was gonna tell her, but then he like chickened out. But then I was like, okay, after you saw Lacey, and you could tell Lacey was being slick. Like she knew who Belly was, and that was his girlfriend, blah, 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 blah. But I feel like after that, Jeremiah should have said something. Like, I don't know, like just to set Belly up like that and like hear it from Lacey herself is crazy.
Yeah, no, that girl was instigating. She was trying to do so. She saw Jeremiah there and she didn't know how to act. Yeah. Lacey is not a girl's girl.
That part.
The cheating. So, I feel like a lot of people, I feel like one of her friends, Belly's friend in the show, when they're like walking around the campus before she like runs in or like sees Lacey in the distance or whatever, she, I feel like said it perfectly because Taylor over here is giving bad advice, talking, we'll get into Taylor in a second, but she said it perfectly. Honestly, like, yes, they were on a break, so I guess he could be like, okay, like y'all weren't together, like, okay, did he cheat? I don't know. But he hid it. That's the thing. He hid it. And that's why I'm like, yeah, that's like where it's wrong. Because he should have said it. And the thing is, he knows it was wrong. Because in the scene where like they get back together, he's like, oh, like I have something to tell you. And she's like, no, like blah, blah, blah. And he doesn't say anything. He doesn't say anything. He shuts up. And that's how you know he knew what he did was wrong. And it was gonna like obviously not result in them getting back together. And the fact that he did it not once, but twice, yeah, no. That's where he's wrong, is him not saying anything and him doing it twice.
And what's crazy is he didn't cheat just once, which is or not cheat, but like he got with Lacey not only once, but twice. And it was kind of crazy. And I definitely think he feels some type of, I don't know, I definitely think he feels some type of way about Belly sleeping with Conrad in a way, which I feel like might have contributed to this. I don't know, because I just realized that like, when the reveal came out, Belly was like, how could you do this? I've only been with one other person. And Jeremiah was like, yeah, I know. because that one other person is his brother. Like, I wonder how that played into things.
Yeah, I think he's definitely salty, but also I'm like, she had a life before you, you know? I feel like it's the same energy. Like, obviously, it's like more messed up, and that honestly, that's Belly's fault because why she get in between two brothers? But yeah, like obviously, it's the same thing as if it was any other person. Like, and what is that to you, sir? You know, like there's people before you. But honestly, this cheating brings us into the next cheating because I feel like this summer I turned pretty is just the summer I started cheating. Apparently, Taylor and Steven, which I personally feel we had too many Taylor and Steven scenes. Because why was I swear every other scene in episodes 1 through 2 was Taylor and Steven. Like, I get that they're like some important characters, but they're not the main characters here.
Yeah, I definitely think we're seeing too much of Taylor and Steven. I would rather see them as supporting people than us like having a whole storyline. Especially because it's just like like their storyline is just adding more chaos to what already is going on. I'm just like, I would rather just have them as supporting characters and just like help them and maybe like help them not be so stupid, you know? And then the car crash scene, I was just like, bruh. Well, before that, I was already like, one, Taylor, you need a backbone, sis. And then two, I recognized the car, the outfit. I said, oh, the car crash is coming very soon. And then boom, it does. And then like Taylor had her little moment when Steven was knocked out, but then he was kind of like, no, like basically I don't want to like do this anymore. And then she was just kind of like, oh yeah, like whatever. And I hate that so much. It's just like I'm gonna need y'all to have a backbone and like learn how to argue. Because if I was Taylor and was like, oh yeah, I realized Steven really is the one, I would be like, no, stop that. Like, no, I really love you, blah, 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 blah. But no, she just sat there. I'm just like, I cannot do this anymore. Like, please, I need to see less of y'all.
That part, like, I'm gonna need, like you said, she needs some backbone because obviously, like, she likes him, but she's too scared to admit it. Which brings me to why are we taking Taylor's advice, Belly? Because obviously, you know, she's over here cheating on her partner, I forgot his name, Brock or whatever his name is. She's cheating on frat boy with Steven, and and she knows that she wants Steven, but yet she doesn't want him. Like, why are you taking advice from her? Obviously, she does not have her things together. And then when she's like told by like you've been together for 4 years, like you don't want to let it go down the drain or whatever. Like, okay, and you're over there cheating with this other man. So what are you letting go down the drain?
Right, her and Steven are both so hypocritical because they're both cheating on their partners with each other. I'm just like, everyone just needs to be real with each other. Like, I actually can't.
And then for me, my next like little note was the mom and the dad. I love them. I absolutely love them. Like the little hooking up between them. Like, yes, I feel like between them, it's not that they stopped loving each other. It's that life got in the way and they just decided to like, okay, we're just gonna split up and let it like this is too much, you know? I feel like that's the kind of energy that they're giving me. And I loved the scene because he's like sitting the wine bottle and he's like, pick up your weight or whatever. Like, I loved it so much. I love the chemistry between them. But I do fear that the mom is going to blame herself now for like not being there for Steven and is not going to want to pursue anything with the dad. But honestly, that's the only couple that I'm currently like all for. Because while I am Team Conrad, Conrad deserves better than Belly.
Facts. I am also rooting for the parents as well. I feel like their dynamic is definitely the one where like the dad still really has a lot of feelings for the mom, and the mom definitely has like some underlying feelings, but she's just like whatever. Like I'm not gonna chase you. Like the dad is kind of like has to chase her. So I think that dynamic is really funny. And then my last two notes was just mystery of love question mark question mark. The soundtrack is a personal attack, and then they rage baiting me with the marriage proposal, which is a perfect transition into episode 3 talk.
And we could not do episode 3 any justice if we did not talk about the one thing that is in all of our minds. Where is that ring? Where is that diamond, Jeremiah? That's what I thought. Crickets.
We all looking that ring at first. No, for real, like all jokes aside, people were like we can't see the ring, but no joke. When he first like the first proposal wasn't even actually like a real proposal, but like then this in the third episode when he actually like got down on one knee after that horrendous opening, seeing them kissing, with birds of a feather playing, I was like ew. And then the real proposal in a frat house, like you're done. But he did the ring, and I really could not see it. Oh yeah, I forgot Liz doesn't know this. But
There's
yeah,
no way it gets worse. I did not know he proposed in a frat house. Oh my
yep.
gosh. Forget the ring. In a frat house? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that it keeps getting worse. Now, I feel like that's all I have to say about that. Then there's like a little scene with like Steven and Taylor because of like that whole financial situation Taylor's mom got him into, which I was like, that is so weird, girl. And all I said was like, I know like I'm not supposed to really ship them, but like the height difference, it got me.
I have seen many TikToks about the height difference, and yeah.
Let's see. And then my next note was not please, please, please. That song was playing. I can't remember when though, but I was like, that's a banger. And then I said, I can't take the wedding talk seriously. This was before the table dinner, so I'm trying to remember what was happening. I think either Belly or Jeremiah were just talking about the wedding, or maybe Belly and Taylor, but I was just like, no way they're actually talking about planning a wedding right now. Like,
All
what?
I would like to say is like the dinner scene. I what was Belly's hair? I feel like that like side like I don't it's giving she's trying to look older and like more grown, but also it's giving, you know, those like I don't even know what era it was, but those like it kind of like Grease, like the musical Grease, the movie where the like the dresses that people would wear with like the little poodles on them. Yeah, that's what it's giving.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I was looking at that side part too, and I was like, not the best, not the best hairstyle, Belly. My next notes are just about Conrad because, of course, I said not Conrad. He's so hot because he originally wasn't going to be at their mother's dedication, and then he popped the older brother. He does what needs to be done, and the fact that he just has to see Belly and Jeremiah, like I have to say, the dad is crazy saying like calling like Belly like little sister to Conrad. I was like, that's crazy. Like final boss of not reading the room. Like that was just like so awkward and just no. And I just like I don't know. I was just like, you guys, little sis is crazy. And then finally, the big part of the episode happened. The dinner table. Basically, what happened, what led up to it, was Adam was kind of getting on Jeremiah, and then because he was like, oh, like Conrad, he's doing amazing things. He's going to be a doctor. Steven's working at the company, blah blah blah. And then I think Jeremiah, he didn't really have any achievements. He was like, and Jeremiah, like, who knows, something like that. I forgot. And then basically Jeremiah was, and then basically Belly was trying to stick up for her man, and she was like, we're getting married. And when I tell you the reactions were funny. Like the mom and Steven laughed. I was like, this is so real. Like in other movies and stuff, they're like, oh, so supportive. But like, no, this is the real reactions for something like that.
I feel like Belly, she thought she ate when she pulled out that ring and said we're getting married, but they were probably like, what are you showing us?
They're probably like, where's the ring? Where's the ring?
And
Like Belly.
it's giving like more like promise ring, I feel like. It's not giving like engagement ring. And if that even promise ring.
I was about to say that is if that was a promise ring, I would end that relationship right then and there. But I was like, oh, the dad is clocking their tea so bad. He said with what money? When they're like, oh yeah, like Jeremiah bought me this ring. He was like, with what money? I said, clock it. Oh yeah, I think that was the main thing. But I was like, oh yeah, he clocked their tea so bad. Because what do you mean with what money? And people were making jokes because he's gonna be like, he has to pay 20,000 back for this extra semester, and people are like, oh well, now Jeremiah's like 20,007 dollars in debt. I was like, you guys are so funny. Like that is so real.
Yeah, I'm glad that dad called him out as he should.
No, for I'm like, he eats sometimes. And then my last little note is at the end, the mom's like, we're done with this dinner. We're going home. And everyone leaves. And then Connie baby is just there all alone. And I was like, wow, Matilda is his song. This is why he doesn't come home, because they are a train wreck and it's a mess.
Rumor is that this next episode is going to be Conrad POV, which I really hope that it is, because I feel like it's the perfect transition for us to really get to see what's going on in his head. And I feel like the opening should be either Matilda or the Taylor Swift song where it talks about still being at the restaurant and being left all alone. Yeah, both of those are Conrad right now.
Yeah, I really hope the next episode is Conrad heavy. Like, I just want the best for him. Belly doesn't deserve him. Belly, you can stay with nasty Jeremiah and live a horrible life. And Conrad, he can come over here. We'll treat him right.
Exactly. Conrad deserves better, you guys. And with that, that's the end of our little The Summer I Turned Pretty episodes 1 through 3 deep dive. Make sure you guys tune in next Wednesday so you get our episode 4 recap, because if it is a Conrad POV, trust we will be really, really going into it.
And then now we're gonna get into our song of the week. So my song of the week is really on theme with our theme of the episode is. So mine is Anti-Hero by Taylor Swift. Of course, I'm gonna play my favorite part. Like, of course, I had to use it for an episode where we're talking about our personal traits or our toxic traits.
And then my song is very on with like the Coldplay, because obviously I started getting into more Coldplay when with all the memes and everything. But it's just Viva La Vida by Coldplay, and my favorite part's the beginning actually. So. And with that, that brings us into the main part of this episode, our toxic traits, you guys. Today we're getting real personal. We're getting real deep with you guys. We're opening up, and we're going to talk to you guys about what makes us toxic. Because while we may seem perfect to you guys on this podcast, we do have some toxicity to us. I feel like that's the word.
Well, we might not have, we're humans, not. It hurts me to say we're not perfect. We may have some traits that some people may deem toxic. So today we're going to talk about it. It's going to be like a therapy session. So feel free, if you relate to any of these, comment down below. Comment down below your toxic traits. Just let us know. Let's start a conversation.
Exactly. This is a safe space, you guys. We're starting the conversation for you guys to join in.
Exactly. We're nothing but conversation starters. But me and Liz are basically just going to go back and forth. We have a couple that we've written down and we're going to share it with you guys. So I can go first. So my first one is I can never dislike something normally. I let it become my whole personality trait and put that onto other people. Like, some people, they're like, oh, like I enjoy something casually now. It is either I'm 100% in, like it's taking over my life, or it just doesn't interest me at all. And the biggest, like, the most recent examples of this are like Formula One and like reading for me. Obviously I've always been a reader, but I got back into reading during the pandemic times, and I used to like have like 0 books on my shelf, and now I have 50 million books, and I love it. My TBR is like has hundred of books on it, not my physical TBR, but like my TBR in my mind just has hundreds of books, and I just love reading so much. Like I freaking watch reading videos on YouTube, like I just enjoy it. And then with F1, like you would think I grew up watching the sport or something. I literally have never heard of like F1 before in the past. Like I did not grow up watching it. The only motorsport I knew of was literally NASCAR, and even that I was like, that's boring. I still think it's boring. And then literally how I came into this world was from a single Charles Leclerc edit, and then I just wanted to see more of him. And people are like, oh, this clip is from Drive to Survive. Y'all, I watched Drive to Survive last year. It changed my life. And now here I am. I got merch. I'm getting up every weekend, like watching the races, tuning in, and and then of course, you gotta have someone to talk about it too. And Liz had just been the victim. Obviously, she knew about F1 before, but I was like, I'm gonna like try to convince you to be more into it than you already are. And then here we are.
I wouldn't say I'm the victim. I definitely wasn't that into it. Like, I also got into it because of Charles Leclerc edit, and that didn't take me into like the full deep dive. Like, I was mostly just still like on the edits. But then Kenny started watching it, and I was like, okay, let me kind of like figure out more about this. And then now here we are. We got a whole sports corner where we talk about Formula One. But honestly, I don't think that's that toxic, Kennedy. You just give it your all.
Facts.
And then my first toxic trait, Kennedy is a victim of this. I am a number one person who just misses text messages. And then it's not even just like, oh, I like missed a text message where it takes me a bit to respond. No, it's to the point where like I'll just say the same thing that somebody else has said because I missed the text message or like missed the convo. Most like notably, it's with TikToks. So Kennedy, me, and Kelsey, as you guys have obviously heard, we have a little group chat where we send like anything that has to do with like social media, like TV shows, celebrities, influencers. We send everything in that group chat, like edits, whatever it is. And the amount of times where like I'm on my own For You page and I'm scrolling. I like how Kennedy just kind of like got really close to that camera. But I'm scrolling on my For You page, and what I'll do is I'll like, oh, they would definitely like this, and I send it, and then I go back to my scrolling. My error is I don't look through the group chat, so I miss the messages. And if I would have just scrolled up a little bit more, I would see that somebody had already sent the TikTok, and it's even worse because somebody else has already replied about the TikTok. And then so like it's at the point where like I'll send it and then they'll just like reply to the TikTok that had already been sent and they're like, now Liz.
Yup, I am a victim. And she just did it the other day too. But I will say she has been making an effort, but it's something she definitely needs to work on.
And the other day I tried to. I would no, because normally I'll just like hit the send button. No, the other day I was like, okay, let me like wait. I know I haven't like caught up on messages in this group chat. So I saw TikTok and I was like, wait, let me go through the group chat. I did a little scrolling up and I was like, okay, coast is clear. And then I sent the TikTok. It was right above where I stopped scrolling. And then as soon as one of them like said like it was like a one word that they said, I was like, I did it again, didn't I?
Yeah, I was like, it's almost like I've seen this TikTok before.
And immediately I knew my mistake. But that is a toxic trait that I need to improve on. I'm slowly trying. I'll get better one day.
And then my next toxic trait is I just make up things in my mind and believe them. It's hard to describe. Like, I don't know. It's like something I don't really think of like consciously. It's like in my subconscious. So it's hard to think of an example. So like for example, like I would just like assume how things work. Like let's say Liz told me, or let's say Liz was going on a trip, and for some reason in my mind I just assumed she was going to like California, but whole time sis is going to Alaska. Like I just make up things, and I believe them. Like that's truly just it, and it's just like Kennedy, like you just can't really do that. I forgot the example I gave in the last time we tried to record this, but yeah, it's just like, girl, sometimes you just need to live more in reality and maybe listen. And then maybe you just wouldn't believe things.
I feel like this happened to us when we were hanging out at the coffee house, the little coffee shop. There was something that you said where I was like, now, Kennedy, is this one of those things that you believed?
Yeah, I do not remember at all what that was, but I'm sure that happened.
And honestly, I don't know how you can fix that, Kennedy.
Me neither. I'm just gonna suffer.
And my next one is also delusion, kind of building off of Kennedy here, delulu. There's many times where I'm just like, and it's not even that I like believe it, it's just me just being delusional because like I know that it's not real, but I'm just in my little delulu moment, so I'll like do that. I don't know. For example, someone holds a door open for you, and you're like, there's something there. No, they're just being a kind person, but like I know, but like I just give in to my delusions at times. So I guess the only way to fix that is to not give in to my delusions, but also it's fun being a little delusional sometimes.
Yeah, delusion makes life fun. And my next toxic trait also is the same as Liz, my delusion. Yeah, like at my school, like everyone was like so polite, like people would hold open doors, and if it was a boy, I was like, oh yeah, like they're literally in love with me. Like what? Is this gonna be my college romance? Or if like someone made eye contact, I'm like, oh, like they're obsessed with me. And then actually this is like a good like story I told last time, so I'll tell it again, just how delusional I can get. So during like COVID times, I just like randomly started watching like actor kind of vlogs, or like behind the scenes, like people who are like, up becoming actors, and like set vlogs and things like that. And I was like, oh, so I'm gonna become an actor. Like I need to know this. Mind you, I have never had interest in acting, never done acting classes, been a theater person, never have been interested in it. Still am not interested in it, and I never will be. But in that moment I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be an actor. Like, that kind of ties into like my like I just believe things, and then me just being delusional. I'm like, yep, it's gonna happen. Like I'm gonna be in a movie in the future, I'm gonna be in the Oscars. So that was like a little like weak face I had. But yeah, so like that's just my thing. Like, and like with my podcast, I'm like, yeah, me and Liz, our podcast is gonna blow up, and this is gonna be like our full-time job. Like it's gonna happen. So I guess you could call it manifestation instead of delusion. But yeah, that's just a glimpse into my delusional brain. I'm just like, sometimes I could probably live in more reality, but at the same time I feel like I am like a realistic person at the same time. So I just have an imaginative brain, that's all I can say.
I was about to say, in terms of the podcast, I wouldn't call that delusion. I call that manifestation as well. We're just putting out good vibes. We're speaking it into the universe, you guys. So make sure that you like don't fall through as you listen to us, so we don't look crazy. My next one is, I'm getting a little deep now, you guys, but hiding my emotions or the way I really feel at times. I feel like I'm the kind of person who like I just, if I'm feeling a sort of way, I would just bottle it up, you know? I won't let you know how I'm feeling. I might be like, oh yeah, I'm fine. But I might really find it. No, I'm not fine. Like, I don't like what's going on, or like I don't agree or something. But I just kind of like bottle up, you know? This kind of ties into my next one, which we'll get into. But yeah, I just kind of like, I just be bottling it up until eventually there is no more room to bottle it up and it explodes. But you know, that is a toxic trait, like something like got in my throat. But that is a toxic trait that I do need to work on. And I feel like, you know, this is the step one. Me being accountable, taking accountability, and owning up to my toxicity with this. But yeah, I do be a victim of just you know, not showing how I truly feel at times.
Nah, I feel that's so bad. Especially, I feel like the only people I can really show my true emotions to are my parents and then you guys, like my friends. So it's like if anyone, like, I could literally have like tears running down my face and someone's like, "Are you fine?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm perfectly happy and fine." But like, I feel like journaling could probably help with that because I'm also the same way where it's just like I hide everything until like there's nowhere for these emotions to go but out. So you just have a moment where all those emotions come out that you've been building up.
You know, I feel like honestly, journaling, like junk journaling, because I feel like with journaling, I'd be like very much like wanting it to like look a certain way, and if it doesn't look a certain way, I will like rip out the page. But I feel like junk journaling would be a good escape to just like write down how I'm truly feeling, and then step 3 or 5 further along in the road is like, you know, not bottling it up at all.
And so Elizabeth has perfectionism. So that's another issue we might need to tackle.
And that would be for part 2 of this episode, you guys, because it's not on my list, so it's not making the cut right now.
Oh yeah. And then my next one is my quiet pettiness. There's actually something that I'm like sometimes I'm like, girl, like you should probably change this about yourself. So an example I put is like example, if you don't wish me a happy birthday, I will remember that. And I truly will. And I will think about it multiple times a year until it's your birthday and I won't wish you a happy birthday. Intentionally. Like I'm just a quiet, petty person. Like I do hold grudges. And yeah, I can't help it. I just naturally do that. And I should probably, you know, fix it because I feel like that's might be a little bit of like a selfish mindset in a way. Like, girl, not everyone's thinking about you, but like at the same time, I feel like sometimes it do be personal. You know what I mean? So you know, I have to be a petty, like a quiet pettiness. You know, move silent.
Not move silently. You sound like animal out in a forest. They're hunting. But yeah, I feel like Kennedy, I feel like that is very on brand for you. Like, no, you, nobody will know that like they've done something until like it's time for you to reciprocate it, and you're not reciprocating it, and they're like, why is she not, like, I've always been such a good person to her. And then Kitty's gonna pull out those receipts for you guys. She's gonna be like, clock it.
No, that is me to a T. Like I am like I just let things build. Like I let things simmer a little bit, you know? I just wait for the perfect moment to strike. And then I do.
So she is an animal out in the wild. She's just waiting for the perfect prey to really like let it be known who she truly is, you guys. Let me be careful. Let me like really think about everything I've done to her in the past.
Liz is the same way, guys. Don't let her fool you.
Anyways, that's not on my toxic list. Part 2 is what I'm hearing. Apparently, we're too toxic, you guys. But my next one. So I. Oh wait, I looked ahead. This one was also me. Okay, hate confrontations, which goes into like the like building it up, or like not telling people how I truly feel. But I do not like confrontations. I am not a confrontational type of person. Even like with the most smallest things, like I don't know, telling someone like move their car or something. I don't know. Like I feel like I wouldn't like go out of my way to do that. I'm just not confrontational. I feel like it's also like you never know how people are gonna react. And I'm just like, I don't want to waste my energy on confrontation. Is like kind of like my mentality, but also because especially like more recently, I feel like my body's response when I'm like stressed, or like I get anxious, or like I'm in a high stress situation, is I will just react, and out of nowhere I'm crying. And I'm like, I'm not sad, you guys. Like I'm not. I'm just, this is just my body's natural response to like there's too much going on. So I feel like I avoid confrontation to avoid that kind of like reaction, because then people are like, oh, like, are you okay? Like, no, like I am okay. Like you're the problem here, you know. But I do avoid confrontation. I will say though, like if I need to, you know, be like a confrontational person, I will be. And I feel like it catches people off guard because like they wouldn't expect that out of me. But for the most part, I avoid confrontation, which I feel like isn't necessarily a toxic thing, but it can be in some situations. But yeah, I am zero confrontation here.
I feel that's so bad. Like one thing about me is if I have to confront someone, I will start crying and my voice will get shaky. And it's not that like I'm sad. I feel like maybe I'm just like so angry that that's how it comes out, I guess.
No, that's literally how I feel. Like it's a mix of like anger and then just like frustration and then just like anxiety that brings about too, because that just like really messes me up and I'm like I can't handle this, or like I can't control it. Most of the times like you lose control or something and it's like it's not going the way it's supposed to be. So that's just how my body's going to naturally react. But like I still like I'm okay. Just leave me alone.
That part. Um, and then my next toxic trait is my indecisiveness. There's also another thing that I really want to change because I feel like it can be really annoying to other people, but I cannot make a decision to save my life, especially because I feel like I'm definitely a victim of this whole like paradox of choices thing that I feel like is like has stemmed from just like the new advancements with technology and stuff. Like we just have so many options at our hands. So like I just get very overwhelmed making a choice really as simple as like what I want to eat, like what do I want to do? Like if my friends ask me like what do you want to eat or like what where do you want to go to hang out? I truly don't care. And it's like if I really wanted to go somewhere, like I would say it. And then another part of me, I feel like why I'm so indecisive is like I'm definitely a people pleaser. Definitely not as bad as I used to be. But so I just like don't want to make the wrong choice, especially if it's like a choice that is like gonna affect a whole group of people. I'm just like I would rather you pick whatever it is because I'm a very adaptable person.
No, because literally me too, Kenny. Like I am the most like indecisive person. And sometimes it's also like it's not even indecisiveness. I feel like it's also like I just don't care. Like I don't have a preference. So like if I don't have a preference, I'm gonna tell you like I don't care. Like you choose whatever. And people are like, no, like you know what you want. Like just say it. Just say it. Like I am saying it. I don't care. Like I'm the kind of person, and I feel like you are too, Kennedy. Where like if we don't have a strong opinion, then we have no opinion. You know, like if it's like, do you want to go eat Chick-fil-A or do you want to go eat I don't know like McDonald's? That's the first thing coming to the head. I don't have a strong opinion on either one of those today. You know, so I truly don't care. Like whatever's easier for you is what I'll be telling people. Like whatever you prefer, I have no preference. And like most of the time, also it's like I will figure it out. Like if I don't have a strong opinion, if because I feel like it's always with food is where we have this situation. Like I will find something to eat. Like don't worry about me, please. And yeah, people are like, no, like what do you really want? If I really wanted something, I would tell you. I promise you.
That part, like I'm not lying to you. Like I'm not trying to make it difficult, but truly just choose because I do not care. And yeah, for me, like it's always food. 99% of the time I run into this problem, it's always food.
It truly is always food. The only other thing I can think of is like when it's, oh, like what do you want to do today? Like what activity you want to do? I don't know. I don't care, man.
No, for real, especially as a professional bed rotter, like I'm happy just rotting in bed. So literally I'm fine with literally anything.
That part. Like if we can stay home and do nothing, yeah, that's what I'm gonna choose, and I'll let you know about it. Okay, you guys, if you're watching on the YouTube video, then you might see we're in different outfits, and that's we had a little, run out of time. We were yapping too much, but we're just gonna continue with our regularly scheduled. If you're listening on a podcast format, just ignore anything I said. So my next toxic trait, I'm gonna join these two together. Now these two, I was like kind of like running out of ideas because like when you're sometimes it's kind of harder for you to like call things out on yourself. The toxic traits. So I had to, text Jill and Kelsey for some help, and let's just say they went in. They took this chance and they ran with it. So these two are from Jill, and she said that wants love but doesn't want to put herself out there, and then scared to talk to men. Yeah. So I own up to it. Those are some toxic traits that I have. I feel like that just goes in with like the delusion and everything too, yeah, I'm at a lack of words right now. I'll let Kenny take it away if she has anything to add to that.
Wow, that wasn't even my toxic trait, but I feel called out, bro. But I remember the last time we recorded, I made up the point where it feels like I feel like me and Liz are similar to where we feel like we have to get our life together before we can talk to a man. And maybe that's another toxic trait. We're just being delusional. We're like, oh yeah, we just keep we just keep pushing it back.
Yeah, I think that really goes into it too, Kennedy, because I'm like, how am I supposed to like meet someone when I don't even know like, what I'm doing? It's like, because when I feel like when you're introducing yourself to people, those are the first conversations you have, like, oh, like I do this, like blah 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 blah. I don't know what I'm doing right now. So, I feel like once I get that handled, then we'll be able to confront these two toxic traits that I have. And yeah, it's scary out there though, you guys. I'll own up to it. It's scary. I also like I don't know. I feel like also like I know a lot of people say like right person, like the right person, the right time, like it'll come or whatever. So like also low key, I'm like, if it's meant to be, it's just gonna be natural. I don't know. Maybe this is me making up excuses for my toxic traits.
And then my next one is, once you are not in my life, I act like you 100% don't exist. And that's like kind of like, girl, like, why do you have to be petty like that? That's like falls into my quiet pettiness thing. But I don't know. I feel like why it's a toxic trait because more so like our parents' generation, like they just like say hi to everyone, even if they weren't that close. But for me, I'm like, if we're not friends or whatever, or if we used to be friends and we're not anymore, why would I say hi to you? And I don't know, I just feel like older generations, that's just the complete opposite of how they operate. But for me, it's just like, why would I have that negative energy in my life?
No, because I also do this too. Like, I'm not gonna be the first one to say hi to you. Because I feel like most of the time it's always like acquaintances where this happens to, like people that like I went to high school with, and like I know remember them, but I don't know if they remember me. So I'm not trying to look like a fool over here. I'm not trying to look like a nobody's fan. That's one thing about me. I am nobody's fan, especially like obviously like celebrities, like yeah, I'm your fan. I'm your yeah. But like regular people, nope. You are not getting that energy from me. So I never am the first one to say hi. Unless like I know that like there's a friendship there, or like they will like acknowledge, then okay, I'll be the first one to say hi. But like acquaintances that I see around, mm-mm, I don't say hi first. And I think that's okay.
No, I feel that like I will never say anything first, or like I would say something first, or not even say something, but like maybe a little wave if like we make eye contact and we just kind of like, we see each other and I'm like, hi. But then that's it, like no full conversation. Like I wish I didn't see you right now.
And then my next toxic trait. Now, this one I personally do not think is a toxic trait, but Kelsey begs to differ. And I guess I've become under the impression that other people out there in the world also think that it might be a toxic trait. But anyways, it's sleeping with my feet exposed. I think we talked about this in the last podcast episode when Kennedy felt the need to just call me out for this. I personally feel it's just a natural state of sleep, a different like posture. It just lets the air flow, it lets it circulate. Yeah, I don't see anything toxic about that. So I feel like it doesn't need to be fixed.
It's definitely something. It's definitely a weird habit, but I'm gonna stick up for Elizabeth this one time because podcast partner besties, she's just regulating her body temperature. But I will tell her I told you so when one day she doesn't wake up with her toes because the monsters got them.
Not sticking up for me for only one time, Kennedy. But I guess I'll take it. A win is a win.
Exactly. And then my next toxic trait is I'm a 100% or nothing person in all aspects of life. Like I feel like a part of it is like I don't ever want to waste my time with anything. Like again when I talked about like how I'm never casual about anything. And like I feel like the biggest example is like I'm doing online school for my grad school program because I wouldn't have like necessarily the I don't know how to explain like the typical like the exact experience. Like my options were either like commute or I forgot my other option. But I was just like, well, I would rather just do 100% online. Like commuting, that's not for me. I don't even have the means to commute anymore. But Oh, you make jokes so you don't start crying, you guys. See, now that got me off topic because Liz is laughing. But yeah, basically, I was just like, I would rather stay home, do online school, yada, 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 than like go back and forth. Like, I would just rather put energy into like making my space, more like me and like upgrading that and just doing 1 year from home than like going back and forth and like, or oh, I remember my other option. It was like maybe stay home this semester or and then like be in person the next semester. I was like, that's too much. I either want to be fully in person living in Lexington or just be home.
But Jokes aside, I think honestly that's not a toxic trait, Kennedy, because it's like you're the kind of person who you want to give it 100% effort, or you're not gonna give it like your all, you know. Because if you can't like commit 100%, you're gonna give it all your energy. You're like, why should I even try? You know, you don't want to like half do something, only give it like 50% or something. You want to give it your best. So honestly, I don't think that's a toxic trait. It just speaks to like your not perfectionism, but like the the level of achievements you got for yourself. That wasn't the right word, but yeah.
Maybe I'm dedicated.
Yeah, the dedication you have. I like that. My next toxic trait is ignoring my problems. Yeah, we've like talked about this a little bit on the podcast here and there a little bit, you know, and we've done like life updates and stuff, but I have a tendency to just, you know, if it's not in front of me, I don't see it, you know. I will like kind of like put things off until like I absolutely like no longer can put it off. um and that's currently I feel like what I'm doing a little bit of. But yeah, that is a toxic trait that I do need to work on, and I guess the only way to like work on that is just stop ignoring stuff, which is also kind of hard because I feel like it's in your head most of the time. Like it's not like things that are blatantly out in front of you, it's things that you like put in your head and things. So yeah.
No, I feel that's so hard, especially that if I can't see it, it's not my problem. That's my life motto.
Hence, me and Kennedy sometimes slacking on our social media, you know? Out of sight, out of mind. But no, we've changed that. Check out our Instagram.
Exactly what Liz said. And then my last one is I'm a hater. Now I'm going back and forth on whether this is a toxic trait I want to change or not. In the moment, I feel like it's not something I want to change. It's just a part of me, though. But like, I wouldn't say like I'm a hater, but like I definitely can be like a judgmental person. So I'm like, is it just human nature? Like I'm just a judgmental person sometimes, and I feel like I just always grew up that way. Like I feel like I just grew up in the type of like I feel like it's a thing in the black community, like it's a joke where it's like you don't like talk about people in the way of like, oh, like I just saw so and so. No, it's like, oh, I saw old girl with the high water, she ready for the flood, you know what I mean? So like it's just part of my personality. I was born this way. But I do find myself sometimes I'm like, maybe instead of hating I could do something else.
You know, honestly, I feel like that's just like you said. Honestly, it's human nature. I think that you're one of the real people who own up to it, because most people who are haters, I feel like most people are haters, but people want to act like they're not haters. And I feel like that's when it's a toxic trait. At least you own up to it. And, you know, I'd be a hater too. You know, sometimes people need to be humbled.
Exactly. And I do have to say, there is a difference between being a hater and being a bully. We are not bullies over here. Never, never, ever. But we may hate once in a while or every day.
What Katie said. And then my last toxic trait kind of goes into where the like need, you know, having a habit to like miss messages and everything. I am a terrible, terrible texter, or just I'm terrible at responding. I see Katie over there nodding her head. And this goes for like all forms of communication, like not even just regular old iMessage and stuff where I like mentally respond. I feel like on iMessage I'll like mentally respond and then forget to actually respond. But like on other social media platforms of communication, yeah, I forget that it's even there. Like Instagram DMs, completely forget that the DM option is a thing. Like I will like once a month maybe go through my DMs and I'm like replying to people who sent me like reels or like messages, or like when you know when you tag someone on a post and it automatically sends the message, I'll like go back and start liking those messages. I just forget that that's even a thing. And then Instagram comments, I have a habit to like when I post on Instagram, I just kind of close out of that app and I don't get back on it for like a week. So then when I go back on, I see I have all these comments and I'm like, oh, I feel like it's a little too late to respond back to them, especially with Instagram. You know, like every time you comment, it sends a notification to every single person that commented. So you know, I feel like I'm doing a good deed by not blowing up people's notifications. So I'll just like the comments. TikToks, I forget that you can even send TikToks on the actual TikTok app. So if anybody like actually wants to send me any TikToks, they send it to me through iMessage, because yeah, my like TikTok notifications, it's really bad. But I'm just very, very bad at texting and responding. And the only way to, you know, fix this is when I see the notification, I need to click on it and respond.
Yeah, I will have to say I am a victim Elizabeth taking forever to reply. And I don't want to hype myself up, but I feel like I am one of Elizabeth's closest friends. And so even for me, it'd be sometimes, it takes a day or two. We understand, like I understand it now, so it doesn't phase me. But I'm just like, I can't even imagine how long other people are waiting for texts, and I feel sorry for them. Like I at least hear from Elizabeth at least once a day. So I'm sure she got people waiting like 7 days. Like if you guys saw her phone, like you would have a stroke if you're like me, and you need your phone clear of notifications. This girl, like she for real would have like almost 1,000 text messages and emails, and you're like, how do you live this way?
I just kind of get used to that life. It doesn't bother me anymore. But definitely, I think there's like an understanding with the people who like actually text me on the daily. There's an understanding. I'm not going to respond to you immediately. And if I do, you better like soak it up because in 5 minutes, my phone is going down and I'm not looking at those notifications again. Yeah. But Kennedy is like one of the people that like I do. Even though sometimes, it takes me a bit, I got like a couple TikToks and like Kennedy like always like apologizes for like blowing up my phone. I'm like, Kennedy, don't apologize. And I do go like on private message on group chats. I do miss some TikToks that get sent. I do miss some messages, but like on regular 101 private messages, I do watch all those TikToks. It might just take me a bit, but eventually I will.
Yeah, I will say Elizabeth, she does watch them and she does respond to each one.
You'll just look at our messages and it's like Kennedy has sent me all this stuff and then it's me just replying to each individual one because if I sent like individual messages, it would just get confused on what I'm replying to.
No, for real.
And that is the end of all of our toxic traits, part two, I'm pretty sure that we won't have any technical issues with this, so you guys will be seeing this episode on Wednesday. But thank you guys so much for watching if you made it this far. And make sure that you are leaving us some reviews and ratings and following us on all of our social medias. Shout out to our Instagram. There's a new Sports Corner segment post that will be coming out on Sundays when there's a race. So make sure you guys are checking it out. And we'll see you guys next week on the Girls Lounge. Bye.
Bye.